What's up, everybody? This is Storytime with Uncle Lukie. So, this year has been one of the busiest years of my life, and I know YouTube isn't really looking forward to that, but I keep it real on all accounts in my life, whether good or bad. Probably ends a few friendships that way, but I am grateful for every single person that tunes into this video because I feel like we're building a loyal community of friends, where if we want to go and branch out, we can do things because we're on this process. I'm not selling you a bill of goods. I'm selling you me. I'm selling you my life experiences. And if you like tagging along, I'm right there with you. Hit subscribe and leave a comment if you agree with that. But I want to tell you a sincere story. It's just a story of unresolved pain that I think I've brought up in previous videos, but now this moment was very powerful for me. So I went to, it's no longer called 12 Bridges, but growing up all my life, I had heard of this course as 12 Bridges. 12 Bridges that, 12 Bridges that. LPGA used to play at 12 Bridges. I got to go and see the facility once. I walked a few holes. I got very, very sunsick at an event a long time ago in the 90s there, dating myself. And this was the golden standard. And when I was going off and doing other things in my life, and golf wasn't a focal point because I didn't go to a high school that had a golf team, and I just didn't have really the means to compete in golf when I was younger. There was no access to lessons, or maybe there was, and I didn't really run with it the way I should have, but it just, however life happened, it wasn't going to work for me. I wasn't going to get those opportunities. I'm happy with what I've done. I tried golfing in my mid-20s, just couldn't do it, just completely quit. It was too frustrating. And honestly, these last 4 years when I started this channel, I think 2019 to now, this is the longest I've ever played golf in a stretch of time where I've stayed with it. Because it started when I was like 8. I probably had quit by the age of 12, and because I could hit the ball, I wasn't good. But I'm kind of rambling. So when I'm going through this whole different thing, making films and all this stuff that you don't need to know about, and I'm very private, so I won't tell you about it. My grandpa got a hole-in-one at 12 Bridges, which is now Catta, Verdera. The name's in the description. And thank you to the wonderful NCGA for doing an outing so I could go to this course. I think it's a one and done for me unless there's some event there. But I've always wanted to play this course because I'd always heard about it growing up. My grandpa had always told me about it. And he got a hole-in-one on the 17th hole. And I'll show some photos of the course and talk you through the course a little bit. But I mean, what this course really is it's a driving test to accurate wedge or mid-iron shots. And right now, as you guys know, I'm driving the ball about as bad as I have since I kind of got back into golf in 2010 and quit. I mean, I'm making contact with the driver, but where it's going left sometimes, it's going right. It's just zero confidence. I'm standing over the ball and wondering where I'm going to miss rather than putting a good swing on it. That's probably where the problem begins and ends at. So, I mean, we don't have to get into my round, but I played real average and all of that. Like, as you'd expect, right? Average golfer channel, average golf round. But it's a really fun course, and it's also a course that I think if you ever get the opportunity, be sure to go out and play, because it has a lot of history in our area, and it's a private course, but it seems like there's opportunities to play some private courses, which is wonderful. So I get to the 17th hole, and really the 16, 17, 18 stretch at this course is fantastic. But I get to the 17th hole, kind of made a blunder, like a stupid bogey on the 16th. I hit a 7-wood. It's kind of a toey little fade that got all of about like 30 yards, but it went about 215. Thought I hit like an 8 or a 7 iron really well. It just hit a clump of mud and it went about like 100 yards, and then hit a wedge and 2-putted. Just kind of like one of those where you're like, wasn't the worst thing that happened, but you had such high hopes from that position. But I shouldn't get those expectations, because once again, what do we always say? I'm not really that good at golf. When I go to these tournaments where there's really good people, when I enter into these scrambles, like the really, really good golfers, I'm not one of them. No one fears me. No one's worried about me. I'm just a solid, recreational golfer that enjoys the activity of golfing, that's trying to play as many golf courses as I can before I pass away, which is hopefully longer than it is sooner, right? So I get to the 17th hole, and it's almost like reliving it. It's like a roller coaster. I haven't been on many roller coasters, but you turn the corner and then you see kind of the big thing that you're waiting for. Typically, it's like, oh my God, we're going to go up this mountain of a thing, and then we're going to go down, and then we're going to go upside down. But normally before your heart gets racing, you kind of, part of the process of that is seeing it. So we make the turn, and I see it, and it's just this gentle, probably about 156 yard shot over a lake. And my grandpa had gotten a hole-in-one there. I'll put on the screen how he got it and all that. And I asked the group I was playing with, but phenomenal group. One of the guys actually watched the channel. He thought I was embarrassed about bringing this up. Not embarrassed. It's just more so, this isn't really like, I'm not famous. This is just like for all of us, the group of us in the local community, the golf nuts, the people that just want to see a golf course when they're working a blue collar or a white collar job. This channel isn't about me becoming a celebrity. This channel isn't about me becoming bigger than what I am. I'm just a man, not unlike any of you, whether you're a woman or a man. I'm a person. And so, I mean, I wasn't embarrassed, but it's like, I'm also not, just because I can film myself playing average golf doesn't mean I need to buy into anything, right? My spirituality comes first. So I take a photo, no expectations, and I hit a pull cut, as Sir Nick Faldo would say. I hit a pull cut, and when I hit it, I said, oh my goodness, I think I hold it. Now, I didn't hold it. I'm going to go through my email and try to find the NCGA mail letter, because I actually got the closest to the pin on this hole, which is crazy. Don't remember how far it was. I think about 6 feet, maybe 8 feet, maybe somewhere around there. But it was a good shot. It was a good pull cut. And I'd kind of been telling the guys in my group that. And what was great was I shared the story before, and it was a very supportive group of like really, really good golfers, but golfers that loved playing golf as well. And I gave my phone to one of these guys that became my friend for the day, and you're about to see the videos that he recorded. He goes, take a photo here, take a photo there. And I stood over this putt, and I knew I was going to make it. And it's strange when you get those feelings, but I knew there was no way I was missing that putt. And that was my only birdie on the day. But I can't help but feel like I had a friend. So I always live with a lot of regret around my grandfather, because he never got to see me like be able to hit a golf ball fairly decent. And it's like, it would have been cool to have one round even when he was older. And I guess that's kind of like the other thing I'll share with you guys is like, I don't really have a dad. So my grandfather was like my dad growing up. And I think a lot of times what I'm learning from like my friends' relationships is, when they hit their mid-30s to mid-40s, they start to build a stronger bond with their dad, and they have these experiences that maybe when they were a child, they wished they could have. And for me, I don't get to have that with my grandfather. He passed away. I didn't get that experience, and I didn't have that close connection with golf. He introduced me to golf, but for a slew of reasons, it just didn't work out the way we had hoped. And oftentimes I regret it. I live with kind of like this pain that's like not fixable, right? So people will be like, oh, it's okay. It really isn't, right? Because I just have to accept that I'm never going to be able to hit a golf ball and he'll see it. I think the closest feeling I can get to relief from that is to pretend that maybe he could walk in the door and see it. And then that gives me the feeling of a joy that I don't really experience all that often. I guess that's literally what they call depression, right? But it's like, yeah, it's like a heavy burden, right, that I live with. And this was one of the first moments where I was like, okay, that felt good. Because my issue with golf is, and I think it's my issue with life is, I want to perform at such a level, and I hate failing based off of just growing up and constantly being ridiculed and learning how to defend myself from that that I can't stand being average. So if I'm performing subpar in golf, I just simply don't want to do it. I want to be able to allocate my time into things where I perform better. And that's always been the issue because, like, I do enjoy the act of golf, but I don't as well. Like, it's more about the life lessons it teaches me. I enjoy going out and golf. I enjoy seeing a golf course, but I don't know if I per se have fun golfing. Like, there are moments where I have fun golfing, but I don't think it's an A to B correlation. But I do think that I've fallen in love with the process of golf. But maybe I don't think I can just go out and if I'm playing bad, I'll just be smiling the whole time. Is basically what I'm saying. And I live with this feeling of wanting to take my grandpa to Spyglass, drop a ridiculous amount of money, hit 2 tee balls, put my arm around him, and walk down that first tee. And I guess that's kind of like the hardest part of playing golf now and enjoying golf is knowing kind of like these places he never went. If I had taken it more serious, he probably would have done the Pebble trip. He would have done the St. Andrews trip. And it's just, you can't think like that, but you do think like that. So I wanted to make this video about this course because that's a heavy burden I always carry. And it's really unenjoyable. It's not very fun. And because of that, I wanted to share that this was one of the first times I got relief from that. One of the first times where I felt like, wow, that was pretty cool. Almost cried. Anybody that knows me knows it's pretty hard for me to cry. So that was something in and of itself. I want to thank the course. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Catta, Verdera, great facility, fun set of holes. If you ever get the chance, I think for the average golfer, as long as you can pick the right clubs, right tee box, it's really a fun challenge because it's not as much about just figuring out how far you can hit it. It's really a strategy-based golf course, which I think often if you reframe how you play golf, those can be the most fun. But this round and the group of people that made this round so special will forever be something that I remember. So I want to share this story with you guys because one thing is if I'm invited to a country club, maybe I'd do a vlog, but I'm not vlogging these private courses because there's a level of respect, right? I'll show some of the holes and some of that, but I'm not going out and vlogging each and every hole because I think it's tacky. I don't like it. It's just not what I'm about. So there's my story. Trying to record more content. My game's in a dark place. My work life's great, but my golf game isn't. So I'm going to try my hardest. And I know everyone here that watches this, all 5, 10, 15 people, very supportive and you enjoy the journey. But I do feel there's a standard being a golf YouTuber at a small degree. You got to live up to a little bit of the hype. So looking forward to it, and I just want to say thank you guys and gals for listening. I rarely kind of open up like this, but I thought this might be a cool story. For all I know, this could be the worst thing I've ever done. So, I hope you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, comments, all that corny stuff, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of you that tune in. Every one of you keeps me wanting to play golf, keeps me wanting to be a better man, and really tries to make me be the best version of myself. So it might not be the biggest community, but it means a lot to me because it's something that helps me make better decisions in life. And for that, I can't thank you enough.